Okay, so guys, today we are starting with security over routing and switching. No problem, guys. I'll be sharing my Google Drive. Okay. See, security over routing and switching is based on your routing and switching what you have gone through, like CCNA or CCNP. Okay. On top of that, we are going to build a security. Okay. So the topics that we are going to cover are like, first of all, we'll see what are spoofing attacks, how spoofing attacks are done. We'll see MAC layer attacks. I mean, like layer 2 attacks. Till here, you will see layer 2 attacks. After that, you will see PVLAN. It's your private VLAN. After that, NTP with security. I mean, like security in the sense of authentication. We'll learn about DHCP, Snooping, NetFlow, and we'll learn about the dynamic routing protocol authentications, and we'll learn about URPF. So these are the total technologies that we are going to learn. Within 2 weeks, we'll easily complete this. Okay. And in this lab, we'll also see in a real time, I mean, like how the attackers can perform the real attacks with the help of your Kali Linux. How many of you guys are not aware of Linux here? I don't need depth knowledge. I need a surface level of knowledge. I need just basics. I don't need the expertise on that. Okay. For basics, like if I ask you like what's a command to check a IP address, then what will be your command? CLI command in a Linux. ifconfig. Great. Same way, I need a basic things. I'm like basic configurations. Like if I have to install any application, then what is the command to install the application? Any idea? Likewise,
sudo install application name, sir.
Sudo
Apt. If we install Firefox, we'll write Firefox to install.
So we do have other commands also. What's the meaning of sudo?
Super user.
Sorry?
Super user.
What users? Could you
Super user or root user.
see? Root users are the super users, right? I'm asking what do you mean by sudo command? Root users are super user commands. Correct. If I want any command to run as admin or any privilege that is not assigned to other user, then I use a sudo command, right? So such things. See, I want you guys to be good with administrator level of the Linux. Okay. I'll provide you some command sets. Can you guys follow that? Hacking. Wait. I'll give you an administrator label of commands. Yeah, Ravi, check your recording permission. See, this is Linux administration commands. Like these are the titles that you guys are going to accomplish with this particular PDF. Like Linux Network System Administrator, or you can say CentOS, or you can say RHEL7 type of certification also can be done with this set of commands. So network introductions, like basic commands to check the present working location. So when you are in a Linux, then inside what directory you are or where exactly you are in a CLI, to check that, what do you type? PWD. To check the contents of the directory, LS. So like this, multiple commands are there, and what that command belongs to, even those informations are given. Is it fine, guys? You can go through this document easily and understand these things. This will be helpful for you guys according to a like interview perspective also. And you guys can include in a key skills like Linux. Okay. Linux as an administrator label, you guys can include as a key point or a key skill in your resumes as well. Don't forget to mention virtualization. Virtualizations like ESXi, okay, and learn any cloud securities like AWS. Don't forget to mention Linux as an administrator label minimum in your profiles. If you really want to get shortlisted quickly, then please do mention all these things, whatever I'm telling. So these are the documents created, guys, for you guys. Please go through it and try to execute it. I'll share a Linux platform on which I have already installed multiple. I have installed multiple applications. Okay. Do you know the Linux or attack related or any useful tools from where do you get to install in the Linux platform? Do you know any type of stores like from where we can install the thousands of, or you can say millions of softwares for free? Yeah, GitHub is the best one. Here, yeah, Git from the GitHub you guys can get like see open source things you guys can get from GitHub. Okay. So further, if you are a programmer as well, you guys can modify and create it. Okay. Those things I'll show you. But first of all, I want you guys to go through this document and execute few commands. Why? Because while doing this SRNS, like I'll be using Kali Linux, wherein some few the basic commands I'll be using. And if you guys are not aware of those basic commands, then it will be difficult for you guys to manage. Okay. So let me share this. Other videos and documents after today's class I'll be sharing. At the end of class, please remind me to share this drive with you guys. Once I stop the recording, after that I'll share it. Okay. So these are the total contents that we are going to cover in our security over routing and switching. These things you guys will see in your NP label and IE label stuff, and examination perspective also. Examination perspective also, these things are important. Like few things you guys will definitely get in your examinations. Like you'll get NTP authentication, you'll get dynamic routing protocol authentication, right? Such things you will get. So it's very important also to crack the interviews and all in security perspective. So let's start with the spoofing attacks. Tell me guys, what do you mean by spoofing attack? Any idea? What do you mean by spoofing attack? What is a spoofing, guys? Tell me meaning of spoofing. I'm not asking what is IP spoofing and what is other spoofing. I'm asking what is spoofing. It's not hiding identity. It's using someone else identity. Using someone else identity. Right, Sunil? If I'm using someone else identity, that is spoofing. Now, let's say if you are talking over a call being someone else, that's like spoofing. If you are using someone else IP address, that's like spoofing. Correct. Communication for unknown source or known trusted source. So basically, I try to be a trusted guy to others, but I'm actually not a trusted guy. I'm a rogue guy. Okay, that is a spoofing. In a network, if someone else is using your identity, in the sense IP address, MAC address, that is called a spoofing. There can be a IP address spoofing, there can be a MAC address spoofing. Let's say I'm using some public IP, 150.1.7.10. That's my public IP. In a network, there will be attacker who will have a same IP address and try to pretend to a server that you are a real guy. That's IP spoofing, right? So how do you prevent the types of spoofings? So basically, first of all, we learn about layer 2 spoofings and what are the moral behind doing a spoofing attacks at layer 2. That also will understand. So you guys can see here layer 2 attack categories, like there are spoofing attacks, MAC layer attacks, VLAN attacks. These are the types of layer 2 attacks. See, when you Google it, you'll get multiple types of attacks. From them, these are the few types. So at a layer 2, why do we need a spoofing attack? Spoofing occurs when an attacker uses a fake device addresses. So I might use a fake device addresses, or it can be a machine generated addresses, Right, randomly, dynamically generated fake identities like MAC address. Right. Tell me, guys, at your layer 2 device, uh, what does first of all, tell me what are your level 2 devices? Tell me the name of your level 2 device. I mean, like layer 2 device. Switch. Okay. Hey, Priyanka, is your hub layer 2 device? That's what I was coming to that point. Is a hub a layer 2 device? Okay. Why do you call it as a layer 1 device? And why do you call a switch as a layer 2 device? Tell me. There is hub and we have a switch. So what's basically a difference between them? Let's see your answers. Switch uses MAC address, layer 2 using a MAC address. Switch is more intelligent than hub. Why do you call it switch is more intelligent than a hub? Give some valid reasons. Tell me. Hub broadcast the signal. Okay. Hub is unmanageable. Okay. Hub do not separate collisions or broadcast domains. Okay. Good. See, slowly things are coming out. First thing, hub is a layer 1 device. It broadcasts all the packets, right? Every time. Does not maintain any layer 2 information in the CAM table. Okay. What is MAC address table called? I mean, like, what is the table where MAC addresses are stored? What is that table called? That's basically a CAM table. Okay. Yeah, that's a CAM table. So basically, switch does not maintain CAM table. Hub does not maintain a CAM table. Switch maintains the CAM table. Hub does the broadcasting all the time. Switch does the broadcasting for the first time in order to find the destination. Once it resolves the destination, after that it does a unicast communication. Switch has per active port collision domain. Per active port collision domain. But a hub is entire hub is a single collision domain, right? On switch, we can create a different VLANs and separate the broadcast domains. But on a hub, we can't do that. Hub is unmanageable. Switch is manageable. Okay. Guys, getting point right, what I'm saying? Difference between hub and switch. These are the points that you should tell whenever you go for an interview. There are many more things that you learn under the switch. So please learn those things. So why did I talk about Camtable? Because in a switch, how many MAC addresses can you store? Approx, how many MAC addresses you can store? Any idea? In a switch, how many MAC addresses you can store? Per port, how much MAC addresses you can install? Guys, answer my questions. Depends on RAM. Per port also depends on RAM. Where do you store those MAC addresses? In which RAM? What are the types of RAMs? I'll not select you guys in interview. It will save in NVRAM. Okay. NVRAM saves what type of configurations? Your basics are 0. Startup config. Okay. Running config. Correct. Hardly I can see few of you guys are answering out of these many guys. Now tell me how many MAC addresses can be stored in one switch? Have you ever checked like how many MAC addresses can be stored? See why I'm talking all this stuff, to understand your VLAN or layer 2 spoofing, you should understand all these informations. Any idea like how much MAC addresses you guys can store? 8,000 plus. See, that depends on the model number. Okay, so minimum it's like 3K, 4K, 5K. Okay, till Camtable is full, but depends. Every switches will have its own limitations. Each model numbers will differ, like how much MAC addresses it can store, but it will have minimum, like as I have seen, it will have like 3K minimum. Upper it can be depending on the model number. Okay, so depends what type of switch you are going through. You guys can easily check the MAC addresses that it can store. My another question was, per port, how many MAC addresses can you enter? Let's say here I have a switch. Let me start this. See, entire MAC address, whatever the limitation it has, that can be entered through the single MAC address. In the sense, if I want to fulfill the entire CAM table through a single port, is that possible? Answer is yes. I can exhaust the CAM table. Now tell me guys, let's say on a switch, one side I have connected, one side I'll be connecting attacker, another side I'll be connecting a genuine guy. Now let's say here I have a server, client, and the attacker. If attacker is sending unnecessary packets to fulfill the CAM table, unnecessary MAC addresses, if the attacker is sending unknown type of the MAC addresses, it will try to send, it will send tons of MAC addresses to switch. Just in just in a minute, your CAM table will get exhausted. It will randomly generate the tons of MAC addresses. I'll use a hacking tools on my Kali Linux to send the unnecessary, unwanted tons of MAC addresses to exhaust your CAM table. Tell me, guys, what happens when your CAM table gets exhausted? What happens when your CAM table gets exhausted? A restart of switch. Switch hangs. Okay, what if switch didn't hang, but CAM table has got exhausted? What if CAM table has exhausted? You guys are going round and round, but not telling me exact answer. Yes, Krupanand has told the correct answer. There won't be any difference between switch and hub. It will act like a hub, correct? When CAM table gets exhausted, so what happens? It starts doing broadcasting every time. Okay. So what happens whenever the CAM table gets exhausted? So if anyone communicates through the switch will broadcast all the messages to all the ports. It will just simply broadcast the information. Same thing your hub does, right? It broadcasts all the information when any information comes to a hub port. So when CAM table gets exhausted, when CAM table does not have a place to store the MAC address, then it will broadcast the information to all the ports. So it will act like a dummy hub. Now tell me guys, what's the flush time for the CAM table? What's the flush time for CAM table? 300 seconds equals to 5 minutes. 5 6 are 30, right? So 300 seconds. Every after 300 seconds, every after 5 minutes, your CAM table gets refreshed, right? So either you restart your switch, or every after 5 minutes CAM table will get refreshed. But what if your hacker keep on sending the means MAC addresses, keep on fooling your CAM table? In that case, it might be, or it might can take a, it can be a kind of a DOS attack also, like overloading your resources like RAM, CPUs, and all. That might cause a crash to a device, isn't it? If I overload the device, it might utilize more resources like RAM and CPUs and all, and that might cause a damage to your system. your system might crash. So it can take, or it can be a attack like a DOS attack, denial of service, right? It won't allow you to access anything else, or it can be DDoS as well. The attackers might use multiple ways to attack on your particular device. Distributed denial of service. Okay. Okay, fine. On this switch, you can say, so switch, uh, so port security. Like, can you guys see here? Total how many MAC addresses I can store on this particular switch? Total 4096 MAC addresses I can store on this particular switch. And entire MAC address, I can send it through a particular interface itself. Now is it clear, guys? How much MAC addresses I can store? How many MAC addresses can be entered through a particular interface? What happens where MAC addresses are stored? What happens when MAC addresses will be exhausted? This thing's clear, right? Such type of questions they'll ask you in interview. Okay. Spoofing occurs when an attacker uses a fake device addresses. See, it can be a fake device address also, or it can be randomly generated MAC addresses as well by using some spoofing tools. IP spoofing uses trusted internal or external addresses. So attackers might use internal. I mean, like there can be internal attackers as well. There can be external attackers as well. They might use private IP or public IPs to perform the attack internally or externally. MAC address spoofing is a common in switch environment. This is one of the most common type of attacks found in your switching environment. Reasons for spoofing are to gain a root access, to inject a malicious data or commands into an existing data stream, or to divert network packets to a hacker who replies as a trusted user, or to crash the servers by overloading memories, that is like DOS, denial of services, or it can be a step into a large attack. So these are the reasons behind this spoofing attack. Okay. MAC layer attacks. MAC layer attacks are like similar to your layer 2 attacks. Layer 2 MAC address spoofing is basically called as a MAC address spoofing. Sending a frames with someone else's MAC address in a source, right? Updates Camtable. What's Camtable? It's a content addressable memory and makes the switch forwarding all the frames to attackers. MAC address flooding is one of the attack. It's a well-known attack. Okay, MAC address flooding is known as a cam flooding. Okay, cam flooding is like fulfilling your cam table. This is where someone is generating tons of frames with a spoofed MAC addresses, right? This time the address of source will be spoofed randomly. The goal is to fulfill the cam table on the switch. Because cam table is exhausted, the switch starts behaving like a dummy hub for a VLAN. So it's just like in a particular broadcast domain, in a particular VLAN, whatever the ports will be assigned, it will start broadcasting if your cam table is fulfilled. Okay, so it acts like a dummy hub. So let's understand with the example over here. Now let's say, for example, here two guys, started the job in a company, right? One was Sam, another was, let's say, any guy. There was Sam and there was Arvind. Two guys, started the job in a company at a time. So here I have a Sam and here I have a Arvind who joined a company at same position, same time. I'm giving you one example. Okay. And both guys were good initially, but Sam went very good. He was a hard-working guy, smart working guys, and he did well in his career. He got promotions, he got a hike, right? So this Arvind was jealous of Sam, right, Arvind? He was jealous of Sam, and he wanted to see what exactly Sam is communicating. So Arvind wanted to communicate, or Arvind wanted to see what is actually Sam communicating and what are his communications with the servers. So he was very much jealous. So what he thought, like at layer 2 he will perform the attack, okay, and he decided to do a layer 2 attack like MAC address spoofing, or we also call it as a Camtable exhausting, or Camtable attack, or you can say MAC address flooding. These all are same. MAC address flooding means I'll flood the tons of MAC addresses to a switch. So what this guy did, he installed one application here on his PC, okay, and he started sending tons of MAC addresses. Or what he did, whatever the free ports were there on a switch, in one of the switch he connected one device which generates the tons of MAC address, or might be he connected one PC having tool installed which can generate the tons of MAC addresses. So what he did is he exhausted the cam table on the switch. Now after that, what happened, whatever this guy was sending the information, it was now broadcasted every time. So the information sent from the SAM was gone to server and also received to a attacker, means Arvind. So he receives his information, and whatever server replies, even that information goes to attacker Arvind, and also a genuine guy Sam. So in this way, he receives all the informations, whatever Sam is communicating in the network, right? After some time, Sam comes to know there is something wrong, something fishy going on, right? My documents are leaked, my informations are leaked. How come this is happening? So he started searching where is a loophole in a market, loophole in my network. Is there any vulnerability, or is there any loophole, or is there any attacks happen? Something like that. He started searching. So at last, what he found on this particular switch, there was scam table exhausted and information was getting leaked somewhere, right? So he decided to protect or to prevent this type of attack. Now tell me guys, what would be a solution for this attack? How could the SAM prevent this attack from happening? What would be a solution? Tell me. Answer is port security. Good. Who found the port security solution first? When was this port security found? Don't know about history. Okay, you guys do research and find out when port security was implemented. So basically, whatever till now I have told, it's written in summarized way here. Okay, whatever story I told you or whatever I told you about the cam table and all, those things are given here. So basically, we guys are going to implement a port security. Okay. See guys, it's a first day class. If anyone is missing or not able to attend class, then let them join it from tomorrow. This port security discussion or port security, the practicals and all with the live attacks, we'll do it from tomorrow. Okay. So today it was just an introduction. So I have a task for you. You learn what's a port security. You learn what are the types of violations under the port security. What is the meaning of each violation? What's the difference between the violations? And you'll also learn like how many ways you can learn the MAC address on the port. Okay. At a time, how many MAC addresses can be introduced, or by default, which violation will be implemented in a port security? How many MAC addresses are allowed in a port security? How can I recover the port security violations? Guys, listen this video and please note down all those questions, whatever I have told. And I want the answer for all those questions in tomorrow's class. And I mean it. Tomorrow I want to see all these answers from you guys. Whatever questions I have told. Please listen those questions properly at the end of video. Okay. And please find the answers. Individually tomorrow I'll tell you to share the answer. Okay. No copy and paste. Okay. I want you guys to share your email IDs. Please do that. Keep checking your email IDs. Those who have received, they can leave meeting. Text and leave.
Sir, it contains only Linux documents, right?
Come again?
The drive contains only the Linux documents, right?
Can you text me? Like your audio is not clear. Can you text me? Guys, all of you, please check. I shared. Leave. Yeah, docs only for yeah, Linux I have given. Other docs I'll share tomorrow. Those who got it, leave.